Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Yes, it's time for another episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So tonight is Monday, January 16th, 2023. This is live stream 874. If you're not overly familiar with this show, let me point out, super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news and taking a look at a game. And that's what we'll be doing tonight as we take a peek at Special Agency, second edition. So we are going to be diving on into this in just a bit. But do want to mention that we tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So if you're tuning in because you want to see the first look at the Special Agency second edition, it's going to be a little bit of time, probably about 35, maybe 40 minutes tops before we dive on into it. So just wanted to let you know. So if you're watching live, just kick back, put your feet up, relax. If you happen to be watching this 30 minutes or more after the stream ends, then there will be timestamps. You'll actually be able to jump past the tabletop gaming news if you would like. And depending on the device you happen to be using, those timestamps might be right there in the timeline right in front of you. Otherwise, you'll find them in the show notes. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com. Yes, that's right, where you're going to find quite a bit more news, reviews, and other goodies that you aren't going to find here on the YouTube channel. So there is that. So yes, there have been some issues with the sound. For some strange reason, I don't know what the deal is. So it should be in sync now, but this is coming like straight through my mic. So there is nothing being done with this. It is straight out of the Shure mic. Yes. And I have no idea what happened because I recorded a review video earlier today. Everything was fine. Everything was perfect. I didn't even turn the computer off. I figured, I'm going to stream in a couple hours. I'll just leave the computer on. Suddenly, the way I've got my audio set up isn't working with OBS Studio. It's not picking up the audio interface. I was like, what the hell's going on? So that is why I'm starting the show again. And it's about 35 minutes late. So we're not going to screw around too much. I'm going to jump right on into the news because returning to print by way of Mythic Games is Enchanter. Here's the skinny. In the fantasy card drafting game Enchanters, you create an artifact and upgrade it each turn. Every card you take retains some of its power. As you grow stronger, you can take on more powerful monsters and, if you plan well, even defeat a dragon. To set up the game, each player takes 5 crystals. Then you shuffle together as many kingdom decks as the number of players, then lay out 6 cards, either items or enchantments, on the journey track. In the game, players take turns to embark on quests, collecting cards from the journey track by paying with crystals. Acquired cards are placed into adjacent stacks with something like Longsword going into the item stack, and cards like Of Fire going into the enchantment stack combined. These cards create the Longsword of Fire, and cards grant both temporary bonuses and permanent ones. Players may attack approaching monsters and defeat them in a simple combat encounter to score points. In combat, you compare your defense against the monster's strength to determine whether you receive damage. Then you need to accumulate as much attack as a monster's health to defeat it, and you keep defeated cards as trophies. From time to time, you rest in the village to gain crystals or heal wounds. If you do, discard the first card from the journey track. At the end of each turn, replenish the journey track to 6 cards. Game ends when the last card is taken or discarded. Enchanters is for 2 to 4 players ages 14 and up, plays in around 30 to 60 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $35 when it returns next week. Yes, very nice. So I recall this game coming out a few years ago, but I don't think it was from Mythic Games. I think it was from someone else. So I don't think this is like a new edition. I don't think there's been a bunch of changes, but I know there had been a successful Kickstarter to bring this back, and that's what this is, as I am currently watching a big old spider come down. Yes, it is the Kingdom of Spiders. You may actually see it. You know what? I'm going to go, it's past. Oh, you actually do see it. You saw a little blob going past. That was it. Just a little blob on your screen. Yowza. Boy, I tell you. Middle of January, and I still got these hanging around down here. And this one's a pretty good size. Just watching them making it its way down. Hopefully it doesn't decide to stop and play around on the table here. I think it is going past, though. All righty. So let's see what's cooking in chat. We have Stray Kismet, Coco B, Caden Lemoyne, and Kathy Evans are with us. Yes, I'm going to take a guess that we are not going to have as many folks in chat as usual because of just, the weird, tried to start the stream and then messed around with it for quite some time. Actually, it looks like this signal's coming pretty hot. So I'm going to drop it down just a little bit there. Chen from Taiwan is with us, as is Mr. Eddie T. Is also joining us. Arriving next week from Resonym is Retrograde. Here's what I know. Retrograde is a real time roll and write inspired by classic 1980s arcade games. Evil astro droids are invading Earth. Grab the joystick and blast as many of them as you can. Can you get the high score? Each round, roll your dice as fast as you can. Race to roll combos shown on the target cards. Claim the best card and spend your dice to put the droids on your sheet out of commission. Be fast, or an opponent might beat you to the card you want. If you're the last player without a card, you can only roll twice before you're stuck with what you've rolled. Depending on the card you choose, you'll collect coins and power-ups. Blast entire columns of droids to destroy bosses for bonus points. Blast rows of droids to unlock the power-ups you collect. Retrograde is for 1 to 4 players, ages 8 and up. Plays in 25 to 35 minutes, and it's going to carry an MSRP of $29.95. When you're driving stores next week. And I see this spider has decided now it's going to go back up. So reading the news piece, all of a sudden I see it going, oh, there you go. Passing by again. All right, can't decide what you want to do, eh? All righty. Let's move on to some role-playing game news, because a brand new Pathfinder 3-part adventure path, Gatewalkers, kicks off next week. Here's the scoop on the 7th Arch. Gaze through the gate. Paranormal adventure abounds when an ancient curse at long last lifts from the river kingdom of 7 Arches. The heroes trek into the ancient forest realm in search of answers. But first, they find violent druids, wicked fey hunters, and paranoid townsfolk. Behind it all is an enigmatic boogeyman who pulls the strings from a coterminous plane of spindly shadows. Can the characters unravel the schemes of Knipo the Slim? How does the fatal obnubilate curse relate to their missing memories? And what awaits them on the other side of the seventh arch? There's just one way to find out. The seventh arch is a Pathfinder adventure for 4 first-level characters. This adventure begins the Gatewalker's Adventure Path, a 3-part monthly campaign in which a team of paranormal investigators unravel the mystery behind a mass amnesic episode which left them with lost memories and strange powers. This adventure also includes a gazetteer of adventure sites on the alien world of Castrovel, the Green Planet. New rules options perfect for paranormalist adventures and strange new creatures to befriend or bedevil your players. Each monthly full-color softcover Pathfinder Adventure Path volume contains an in-depth adventure scenario, stats for several new monsters, and support articles meant to give game masters additional material to expand their campaign. Pathfinder Adventure Path volumes use the open game license and work with both the Pathfinder RPG and the world's oldest fantasy role-playing game. The 96-page softcover adventure will carry an MSRP of $26.99, while the PDF will be had for $19.99 when they both arrive on January 25th. As you can see, I already have the PDF. Yes. So I've got the PDF, and once the physical releases for Pathfinder Starfinder, which there are not a ton this month. I think all in all, I think there's 4 physical releases, and I don't even think we get a Starfinder Adventure Path. I think we get some flip mats. I think we get, I believe, the Fists of the Ruby Phoenix battle cards, and maybe some flip tiles, and that would be it. Hayden asks, would I rather have $1 million or 1 million subs? $1 million, obviously. Because subscribers don't mean anything. As you see, we've actually pulled in a ton of new subscribers lately. And we're at almost 9,500 subscribers. And there's still plenty of videos that get 300 views, 400 views. So subscribers don't really mean a whole lot. Just like I'll see videos that have like 150,000 views from a channel that maybe only has 2,000 subs. So I'll take the money. There you go. So there is our new Pathfinder Adventure Path that kicks off later this month. Arriving in print next week from Cubicle 7 Entertainment comes Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound, Champions of Destruction. Here's the deets. Embrace the Wah and become a champion of destruction. Champions of Destruction allows players to create the most brutally cunning or cunningly brutal. I have a cunning plan, me lord. Characters for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound. Become the boss. Set out across the mortal realms in search of a good scrap and face down the biggest, baddest creatures in all of the realms. Book features new destruction aligned species, new archetypes, new talents, tooth-splittingly destructive new spells, miracles, and more. Champions of Destruction contains a head-scratching look at the gods of destruction and why they might stop scrapping long enough to beat a group of soulbound into shape. Mechanics for wielding the power of the Wah! Recruiting a gang of like-minded bruisers to join you in your rampage and becoming the boss of your own warband. Options to play as brutal orcs, cunning, cruel boys, spiteful hobgrots, diminutive grots, belching ogres, and rock-smashing trogoths, as well as advice on who your character needs to crump to become soulbound, and dozens of sample short and long-term goals. Over 20 new destruction-aligned archetypes, such as the squig-riding Boingrot Bounder, blasting Weird Knob Shaman, flame-belching Ogre Firebelly, Wicked Cruel Boy Gut Rippa, and many more. Over 50 cunning and brutal talents, 60 powerful miracles from the gods of destruction, and 70 spells all drawn from bizarre lures of magic wielded by grots, orcs, and ogres. Dozens of new pieces of equipment and artifacts to get your mitts on and swing at your enemies. Over 25 new endeavors for destruction characters to undertake between adventures, such as squaring off against the boss, capering under the bad moon, or beating armor into shape with your bare fists. There's also advice for game masters and players on running destruction-focused campaigns, as well as statistics for a gibbering mountain of squigs, grots, knob bars, and other minions and mounts to beat down or boss around. The 160-page hardcover of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound Champions of Destruction will carry an MSRP of $39.99 when it arrives next week. Of course, right now you can grab the PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. Very nice. It's taken a bit of time to get this out in print, so I am happy to see this. We should have some more Soulbound reviews coming from Sammy in the relatively near future, I would say. So stay tuned for that as well. My final news piece, now available in PDF from Autarch, is By This Axe, the Cyclopedia of Dwarven Civilization. Here's the dish. In this tome, you will find the secrets of the great and proud race of dwarves, compiled, codified, and curated for use in your favorite old-school fantasy role-playing game. By This Axe is organized into 10 chapters. Chapter 1, an introduction, details the audience purpose and approach for this book. Chapter 2 includes dwarven lore. Chapter 3, dwarven characters. So, how to roll up a dwarven character in any one of 6 racial classes. Chapter 4, dwarven templates, provide 8 pre-generated templates for each character class in the book. Chapter 5, dwarven earth forging, details a new style of magic wielded by the earth forger class, whose innate talents have allowed them to channel the power within materials to reshape their form. Chapter 6, dwarven automatons, presents rules for designing, building, and repairing clockwork and steampunk-type machines. Chapter 7, Dwarven Domains, explains how your dwarven characters can establish themselves as rulers of domains and realms. Chapter 8, Dwarven Mining, expands the rules for domains to include mining for precious metals and quarrying for stone. Chapter 9, Dwarven Mycoculture, details the secret methods of mushroom farming used by dwarves to feed their vaults and brew their marvelous ales and beers. And finally, there's Chapter 10, Dwarven Relics, which offers a catalog of over 35 rare and powerful dwarven relics, artifacts, and antiquities. By This Axe is designed for use with the Adventurer Conqueror King system, but it is readily compatible with any other fantasy role-playing games built on the same core rules. The 273-page By This Axe is available in PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $20. Stray Kismet says, finally, a game for murder hobos. I would assume you were talking about the Champions of Destruction. Alrighty then, that is it for the news tonight. Once again, I'm hoping at least this audio is in sync. When I tested a couple of quick recordings, it was. So, said, fingers crossed on that. We are going to take a look at Special Agency 2nd Edition in just a few moments. But unfortunately, it's too bad that I didn't get the show started until late, because I was going to mention a couple of things about the open game license fiasco, which I'm not going to. Sarah D's with us in chat. Yes, Mr. Eddie T and Sarah both say that the audio seems to be in sync. Sweet. Which, of course, once I get my interface working again, I'll have to resync it because it'll be off. Anyway, I didn't really have a ton to say about the open game license fiasco outside of how ridiculous that announcement was on Friday from Wizards of the Coast by way of D&D Beyond. Didn't even bother putting out something on the actual Dungeons and Dragons site. Caden keeps saying please about something. I have no idea what that is in regards to. So I do not know what Caden is asking about. So we'll point out if you just keep typing that please. We're going to unleash one of the chat moderators on you. Don't want that. All right. Anyway, so not really much to say. I do want to point out I shared my review of Into the Odd Remastered over the weekend, as well as a new series where I am going to actually work on designing an open source fantasy role-playing game. So the first part of that is out. So wanted to mention that. Quite a few people have been checking that out. So thank you very much. And it's kind of funny. I mentioned that I want this to be a rules light kind of role-playing game. And then all these people are tossing out, all these like seriously heavy, different rules. And I'm like, okay. So Caden says, okay, I'm leaving then. I have no idea what you're doing in chat. So I have no clue. We don't put up with a lot of nonsense in chat. So just so you know. So like I said, don't know what you're trying to say with please. All right. Anyway. So I was busy all weekend long, and hopefully you did something more than just not get mail delivered today for Martin Luther King Day. So Mr. AT says, I believe he's a kid. Doesn't matter to me. So, Anyway. All right. So we're going to jump into Special Agency 2nd Edition in just a couple of moments. But first, it's time for a brief intermission.
Well, you see what I get from the refreshment counter. Oh, boy, popcorn and candy bars and ice cream and, oh, boy, sparkling ice-cold Coca-Cola. Oh, boy, that tastes good. Have you been to the refreshment counter?
Remember, your favorite snack will taste especially good with world-famous ice-cold Coca-Cola.
Here's why people like you like Drury's best. Flavor in, sweetness out. Drury's beer is wonderful. Big tea time is fun time. Drury's time is fun time. You'll shout for that big tea fun and laughter. You like Drury's best. The flavor's great, no doubt of it. Sweetness is brewed out of it. Drury's beer. You'll shout for that big deep fun and laughter. No fulfilling after. More flavor, less filling, more fun.
We're here to persuade people to drink more Wilkins coffee.
What's the club for?
To get their attention.
To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their attention. To get their atten
Oh, crystal ball, how can I buy a house? This free FHA Consumer Bulletin explains how to buy a home you can afford with payments you can handle. Write to Home Purchases, Department 4, FHA, Washington, D.C. Over and out. Son of a gun.
Yes, because I was messing around with trying to get the sound to work. Did not have an opportunity to update our intermission video. So that was the same intermission video from the last live stream. Okie dokie. So tonight we are going to take a first look at Special Agency Second Edition, written by Juancho Duma Dragunov. I'm sure I butchered that. This 317-page hardcover is available as a print on demand through Lulu for $34.95, or you can grab the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $5.41. Let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got Special Agency Second Edition. So, a couple of things to mention before we dive on in. The author was kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation to share this first look with you. It's very important that you know that. I'll also be up here, as I always am. So, as we take a peek through the book, I'll be cutting off a little bit of the upper left portion of it. I'm not going to look at each and every page, but I want to get a feel for what Special Agency Second Edition is all about. I understand it is a modern era role-playing game, and you can utilize it for secret agents and like if you want to do FBI, CIA, things like that. So it says, the investigation and action role-playing game for agents and criminals. With Special Agency, you can step into the shoes of police, federal, local, and international agents, or terrorists, mercenaries, and criminals. I don't know if I would have terrorists on here. That's just me, but at least I can tell you right now, a lot of Americans, they don't want to be playing role-playing games where they're terrorists. So, freedom fighters, yeah, sure, okay. Investigating on the streets and fighting with a new level of detail and tactical tension. Emulate your action heroes or conduct quiet library investigations, from the birth of the U.S. Federal Police to the search for the terrorist. Or maybe you'd rather rob Fort Knox to the tune of When Johnny Comes Marching Home. Make plans for criminal domination or dismantle them as part of a special investigative agency. Don't say we didn't warn you. Not everyone in your team may see the light of a new day. So I have to point out, I believe this has been translated from Spanish. So, oh, look, it stars Bruce Willis. All right. So we do already know that we are looking at AI artwork throughout. So, and I know the author was a little concerned sending me this review copy because I have mentioned in the past a disdain for AI artwork. But the reality is, I don't expect small creators to be cranking out a bunch of, content with original artwork. I understand it's not in their budget. Mr. Eddie T says, Bruce Willis, I'm sold. So I can tell you right now, I can tell this is a Lulu print on demand. Paper stock is pretty decent though, but as you can see, this page here has full color artwork, and having all that ink on the page is kind of like made this kind of curl a little bit. I mean, it's no big deal, but I mean, I can tell this is a print on demand. Just like you can usually tell a print on demand from like DriveThruRPG. So what is Special Agency? It's a tabletop role-playing game that allows you to participate with your imagination and some rules in contemporary action and adventure movies, series, books, comics, and video games. Players take on the role of police agents in any of their multiple facets, federal, local, or international, or get into the skin of terrorists, thieves, and criminals in general with the aim of having a good time of fun, investigation, and tactical action. I am one, sorry to harp on this, but I am going to recommend maybe dropping terrorists out of this because I don't know. Hey, we're going to have a good time playing terrorists. All right. So let's see. I'm kind of curious what sort of action resolution mechanics this uses. So setting the mood of the game, investigations and planning. All right, action resolution, the dice. Taking a look through here. It's not telling us what dice. So characteristics and skills. Are we going to be seeing a percentile? Taking a guess, that might be it. So Flaming Heron's with us. Says, "Oh, you're back. Kept checking. It was never on." Yeah, well, it took a while. And I still don't have the audio working the way I want. So this is actually coming straight through the microphone. So looks like we've got kind of a timeline. And this is set in the real world, I believe. I don't think we're looking at, oh, well, you've got these, fictional countries and things like that. So let's take a look. So here's our characteristics: strength, endurance, coordination, personality, intuition, and will. And the values of these characteristics run from 5 to 20 for a human. So says a value lower than 9 or higher than 12 is considered exceptional and will have a trait associated with it. These traits have an additional effect during gameplay. Then we have some derived characteristics. So health and willpower and determination, stamina, mental health. So quite a few. So you can roll 3d6 plus 2, or you can distribute 75 points if you're, creating action heroes. I guess there are rules for like superhuman. I don't think there's powers in here, but it says to obtain superhuman characters, you can distribute more points or ignore the limit of 20 points per characteristic. So then we've got some archetypes. So we've got our character sheet. This looks a little bit like the character sheets from Delta Green. Just a little bit. I'm not saying that they're, Stray Kismet says the Gaming Gang's SSU, Special Subscribers Unit. So Flaming Hair says, "Oh, I missed blocking someone." Yep, I did it. Well, I don't know. Now I hid them. I don't know if Mr. Eddie T kicked him, but I hid the person. So, man, it's been a long time since we had to do something like that. But the funny thing is, with all the new people popping by to the channel because of some of the videos that I've shared, I had a feeling we were probably going to have, and that we may see it again very soon. But I figured we would have some folks popping into chat that we would have to muzzle or boot them. So Mr. ADT says, yeah, they were about to hide them right before I hid them. So we've got field agents, Secret Service agents, FBI agents. So it does look like we've got a percentile system. So we've got alert, like basic skills, alert, firearms, bureaucracy, search, drive, and they're all percentiles. So we got firemen, detectives, intelligence officer, sheriff's deputy, special forces. We've got soldiers. You know, I do want to point out that Juancho, the author, publishes like 1 or 2 supplements a month. So it's crazy. And he does all of the work. So he does everything. So it is kind of a one-man band, which I can identify with. But there's a supplement that's like post-apocalyptic, kind of like Mad Max. I was like, oh, hey, that's kind of cool. So I guess there's a lot of different expansions and supplements. So then we have neutral agents, lawyers, bounty hunters. Look, Kurt Russell's in it. Oh, the beast! It's the Peacekeeper. Flaming Heron says, that's impressive. Yeah, that's what I thought too. And I believe the author lives in the Amazon. Pretty wild. So, Roger Prudhomme, I know I mispronounced that. Sorry, Roger P. has joined us in chat. I believe it's a first time visit. Mr. AT says, was that Chris Christopherson? Looks a little bit like a cross here between Bruce Willis and Humphrey Bogart. So Roger P's asking, anybody still play Top Secret? They still have the TSR box. Oh, there you go, little Chuck Norris. Curing, the ills of the world with his tears. I gotta say, I have not played Top Secret since the early 80s when we first had the TSR release, and we had some articles in Dragon magazine. So my friend Tim used to run Top Secret. Now I know there was a new edition of Top Secret that came out, and I heard through the grapevine that it was hot trash, that it was awful. It was really poorly put together and nigh unplayable. Now I don't know if that's the case, but hey, Sly Stallone's in here. Flaming Heron says, and what? No Chuck Norris jokes? I don't really like Chuck Norris, so I'm not going to joke about him. All right, so it looks like we're into the mechanics of the game. So these are the different skills, giving us a breakdown of what each skill is, as well as some examples. Looks like we can have specialization within these skills as well. I have the conspiracy skill because I believe in all these conspiracies. So it did appear that what we're looking at is a percentile dice system, a D100 system here. Tell you what, we got a lot of skills in that. It's kind of now, all of a sudden, now I thought there weren't monsters in that. Now we get monsters. Flaming Heron says it's the beard, right, Chef? Yes, it's obviously the beard. Got nothing to do with the beard. Okay, so the action. The action in Special Agency is intended to be simulationist and dynamic. This implies that it tries to adjust to reality to what would happen in a combat or a shootout. During this type of situation, the training and skill of those involved is less important than understanding what happens when the bullets start whistling. When our lives are in danger, adrenaline surges, our hearts race, and everything shakes and shakes. Seconds turn into hours and hours into seconds. When it's all over, we find a body there, maybe a friend's. One of our boots is missing. We are wounded, but we don't know what we're wounded with. And the whole action has been like a bestial whirlwind of which we only remember fragments. We have suffered what's known as the tunnel effect. Okay. So we got our combat actions. I would think that this is going to be pretty crunchy as far as our combats. So I'm just looking to see. How many? Okay, so we've got simple actions, singular actions, which can only be performed once in a turn. Free and special actions. So we've got movement, preparing and aiming, fire, draw, delay your action, point blank shot, surprise attack, bulk attack, disarm, neutralize or grasp, parry, avoid, throw, pinpoint attack. And then we've got our attack rolls. So a critical hit is equal to 10% of the base skill. And a fumble is when the result is equal to or higher than the negative decimal of the base percentage. So a roll of 00 natural is always a failure, regardless of the percentage possessed in the attack skill. Tom Cruise is in this. Death and healing. Oh, there's a lot in this. I'll tell you that much. And if you pick out the PDF for what, $5.41, you're certainly going to get your money's worth. Combat tactics of today and always. So then we've got the investigation, the mood in investigation. The mood of the games and campaigns you play does not always have to result in furious gunfights. Any game with the right tone can be adapted to a more leisurely mood where investigation, not action, takes precedence. In fact, action and investigation are the two sides of the coin in this special agency game. The percentage of each of these two sides defines to a large extent the mood of the game. So we've got the investigation turn. There we go. And then our investigation skills. Guess that's how to use these skills as far as with the with investigations, because we've seen these skills in the skills section. The clues, the plot. Then we got the tools. So this is gear. Yep, looks like it. Oh, yeah, it's gear, all right. Look at all those weapons. There you go. There's the Desert Eagle. 2d10 damage. Yeah. Shotguns. Yeah, this looks like if you're looking for a modern replacement, maybe for Top Secret. Especially if you like your weapons. So, because it looks like we've got a lot of stuff covered. We even have futuristic weapons. Plasma rifles, pulse pistols, a railgun rifle. So other gear. And then our game master is known as the Overseer here. Dan Wheeler's with us in chat again. Good to see you, Dan. Thanks for coming back after we had to shut down the stream for a few minutes. All right. There's a lot going on here. So we get an introductory adventure, The Heat. Let's kind of jump through this. So we've got the good guys. Looks like we got some pre-gens if you want to use them. Well, looks like quite a bit going on in this. So we've got a lot of NPCs too. And then is this another investigation? Full House? Yes, you're investigating the Tanners. Wasn't that their name? I really didn't watch the show much, but for some reason, Danny Tanner pops into my head. All right, so it says, oh, this is kind of cool. It takes place, I guess, well, our opening scene is Chicago. It says Sunday, July 4th, 1982. 3 men and 2 women play poker on the 85th floor of the Sears Tower in Chicago. Okay. Interesting. Oh, this looks kind of cool. We get 2 full adventures. And then we've got our appendices. Oh, look at all those weapons. Jeez. Looks like we've got some random tables as well. We've got our glossary and index. Though this says glossary, it's actually an index. Nice. Oh, here you go. Like I was saying, there's a bunch of other supplements for Special Agency. And in fact, I think I've got them sitting over here. Juancho sent me a couple. So let me take a peek. No, they're upstairs. Sorry, I teased you. One was, tell you what they are right now. One is the Vietnam supplement, and the other is the Lone Wolf. So I think the Lone Wolf is an adventure. Liquid Nebula is with us. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. All right, that is Special Agency 2nd edition, written by Juancho Duma Dragunov, and it is available as print on demand from Lulu for $34.95, or you can grab the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $5.41. Of course, I'll have a review of Special Agency 2E in the very near future. Alrighty then. So what's cooking the rest of the week? Got a lot of goodies. So tomorrow's show, I'm going to unbox and take a first look at Starship Captains from Czech Games Edition. This just showed up out of the blue. I was like, whoa, cool. I was like, holy cow. Because honestly, I wanted to take a peek at this. This looked really, really cool. And it's got solitaire play in it as well. So we're going to take a look at this on tomorrow's show. Then Wednesday, we are going to have a War Game Wednesday as we unbox Skies Above Britain from GMT Games. So that is on the horizon. And then on Monday's show, so a week from today, we're going to take a look at Deal with the Devil, which is also from Czech Games Edition. And this looks very unique. I had shared a news piece about this not too long ago. And it is for 4 players. And one of the players is the devil. But you don't know which of the 4 players is the devil. So kind of cool. Kind of cool. So stay tuned for that. Kathy Evans is with us in chat as well. I'm not sure if I said hi to Kathy earlier. I know I said hi to Kathy when I first tried to do the stream. So I know what I'll be doing for the next hour or so is trying to find out why exactly my audio setup was not working suddenly. So I'll be diving on into that. So that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only lets you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Also let you know when I upload other videos, such as the videos I unleashed this weekend and tomorrow's review of Gran Mechanismo. Yes. So that is done. It is in the can. This is the review I shot earlier today that I had absolutely no problems whatsoever with the audio. And then suddenly, a few hours later, it's like, nah, it's not working anymore. I refuse to work. I don't know. What can I tell you? All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day happens to be in your neck of the woods. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, that's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.